Tonight we're following the ghostly footsteps of Mexico's most haunting figure, a mother cursed to wander the riverbanks for eternity, searching for the children she can never find. Draw your curtains tight, keep your children close, and prepare yourself for the legend of La Llorona. Picture this: the streets of Tenochtitlan, 1519. The Aztec capital gleams under moonlight, its grand temples casting long shadows across the water. But something is wrong. A woman appears in the darkness dressed in flowing white robes. She drifts through the streets like mist, her cries piercing the night air. "Oh, my children!" The Aztec people know this omen. They've seen her before, this ghostly figure who weeps when disaster approaches. Some believe she's Quetzalcoatl, the goddess of motherhood and death, come to warn them of coming tragedy. And she was right. Within 2 years the empire would fall. This may be the very first appearance of La Llorona, recorded in the Florentine Codex by Spanish friar Bernardino de Sahagún. But her story was only beginning. Fast forward 2 centuries, colonial Mexico, late 1700s, the legend has transformed. Now she has a name, Maria. She was a beautiful indigenous woman who lived near a river. Her dark eyes caught the attention of a wealthy Spanish nobleman, and soon they had 2 sons together. Maria believed he would marry her. She believed they would be a family. But he had other plans. One day, he arrived at the river in his finest clothes with another woman on his arm. A Spanish woman, his bride. Maria stood there, her children clinging to her skirts, as the man she loved rode past without even glancing her way. Something broke inside her. The grief was overwhelming. The rage was unstoppable, and in a moment of madness, she grabbed her children and dragged them into the river. Only when their small bodies went limp in her arms did she realize what she'd done. Screaming, she released them to the current and collapsed on the riverbank. By morning, they found her body floating in the same water that had claimed her sons. But death was not the end. Now picture the riverbanks at night. The moon reflects off dark water. Mist creeps along the ground. And then you hear it, a sound that makes your blood run cold. Weeping. A woman in a soaked white gown appears from the shadows, her long black hair hanging like a veil over her face. Her hands reach out, grasping at nothing, as she calls out in anguish, "Where are my children?" This is La Llorona, now cursed to walk the earth forever, searching for the children she murdered. Between 2000 and 2022, over 200 documented sightings of La Llorona were reported across the American Southwest, particularly in New Mexico, Texas, and Arizona. The accounts are remarkably consistent. Witnesses describe a woman in a long white dress, soaking wet, with long dark hair covering her face. They hear weeping, sometimes soft sobbing, sometimes desperate wailing. Cars stall near rivers. The air turns cold, even on summer nights, and those who get too close say she turns towards them and calls out for her children. To this day, families across Latin America follow traditions passed down through generations, bringing children inside before sunset, avoiding rivers after dark, teaching songs that warn of the weeping woman, placing candles and charms at bridges and riverbanks. These aren't mere superstitions, they're cultural memory warnings encoded in ritual, keeping children safe and honouring those who were lost. La Llorona endures because she represents something universal: maternal grief, betrayal, the price of colonization, and the pain of lost children. During Mexico's War of Independence in the 1810s, she became a symbol of national suffering. La Llorona carries the weight of that history. She's the mother who was used and discarded, the indigenous woman erased by conquest, the grief that society tried to forget. But she will not be forgotten. She walks the riverbank still, searching, weeping, warning. Thank you for joining me tonight. Remember, some legends survive because the pain they represent never truly dies.